You are live. Yay! Well, welcome everybody to 2026. New year, new you. Renee and I are so excited to welcome you back into this an incredible new year with us. We have so many new and exciting events planned, and this year is truly going to explode with powerful conversations, expert guests, and real support for women at every stage of life. So super excited about that, Renee, right? Woohoo!
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Joining us this year will be doctors, nurses who specialize in menopause and hormonal health, health and wellness coaches who focus on sustainable lifestyle changes, and physical therapists dedicated to helping women move pain free and stay strong, health and wellness coaches. Everybody wants to start 2026 off with a diet. So, you know what? We have all that great information as well. We'll also be welcoming mental health professionals, nutrition experts, pelvic floor specialists, fitness and
Woohoo.
strength coaches, women empowerment leaders, and advocates focused on confidence, career, and personal fulfillment. So, right now, we are at 825 amazing, awesome women. We are strong
That's
and growing
exciting.
every single day. So, like, share, follow. This is a community built by women for women. This year is also about education and empowerment and connection. Love to make those connections. It's about giving women the tools, the knowledge, and community they deserve to feel their best physically, mentally, and emotionally, and sexually. I can't forget that part. We're not
Please.
all dead. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. We're brought to you by our sponsors, Zinzino and the Balance Oil. And, we're going to even talk about that. You can also contact us directly at 877-776-3985. So be sure to give us a shout out on our Facebook page, PowHER Hour, and join the conversation. You know what? We're inviting everyone to jump into this and talk and chat about this week. I really brought this to Renee's attention. And you know what? If you think back in the day, the Golden Girls, do you remember the Golden Girls?
Oh my
Let's have some.
gosh. I'll tell
Yeah,
you
and
what, how many episodes I used to binge and still do when I want to laugh.
that's
And,
great.
I was watching it at 4 o'clock this morning because I wanted to review it because it's one of the things I wanted to talk about on today's show. And they were way ahead of their times. Number
They
one,
were.
nobody thought the idea was going to work. Number two, their writers were in their 20s, so they didn't think that they were capable of writing the information, but they had four strong leading
Yes.
ladies that were seniors that did a great job. And the thing is, they talked about the things we talk about on this show. They talked about
Yeah.
menopause, they talked about sex, and they talked about all kinds of issues and things that are still very upfront today.
I
So when
know.
I
You
was
know what? We're gonna
watching
have.
it this morning, yeah.
Hold that thought 1 second. So we're gonna have
Okay.
some fun with this, okay?
All
And
right.
before you go, don't forget to like, share, and follow so you never miss an update, an event, or one of our incredible guests. We can't wait to grow with you. 2026 is your year, and we're just getting started. And you know what? With that being said, Miss Renee, let's jump into the chat about the Golden Girls. I was amazed with them.
Well, I was too, and I was laughing in the middle of the night because of course, we were talking about sexual things during menopause a few weeks ago, and of
Right.
course, Blanche was that sexual figure in that character on
I
this
know.
show, and she always had something sharp to say or something fun to say.
Yeah.
And I remember Dorothy's mom comes in and she says something about, "Oh, I have something that's just so excited and it's going to put you over the edge." And Blanche yells out in the kitchen, "Does it have batteries?"
Ah!
You know, and and I thought, this was way ahead of its time
Yeah.
because 40 years ago we were just starting to do home parties to educate
Right.
women about romance products and things to keep things exciting in the bedroom, and it wasn't mainstream and you weren't buying it at every store. And you weren't shopping at Walgreens and all these different things that they have
Mhm.
today compared to what we had at our fingertips. So, who
Yeah.
was your favorite character on this show?
You know what? I kind of think I really loved the mother. I thought she was
Yeah.
amazing. I remember I was watching the show last night and she was just cracking me up. She wanted to go on dates with B and a gentleman that she met, and she felt like she had no friends left. And I mean, she played what, like an 80-year-old woman? She was not even close to that age.
No,
And
she was playing a part that was 20 years older than she actually was. So she was in her 60s and she was playing a part in her 80s.
oh my God, it was so funny. And then B comes in, Maud. What did she
Right.
go by? B, and she comes in with the gentleman. She's like, "Hurry up, come in. I sent my mother to the drugstore. Let's hurry up and get out, right?" So they get out the door, and here she comes walking up. It's because they were going out to dinner. So she says, hey, Dorothy, where you go? Dorothy, where you going?
Good.
We're going out to dinner, Ma. Okay, tell me. She's, well, how did you get back so quick from the pharmacy? She says, I faked a heart attack and they let me go ahead of everybody. Well, we're planning on going away to the Bahamas for the weekend. She's like, okay, where we going? Could you imagine having your mother on your
Taken
date or going away for a weekend?
and we're taking mom. Well, I think back to dates years ago, and I actually had one of those dates. My mom set me up with a date with my daughter's father,
Oh
and he took
God.
all of us, my mom, her husband, my son, me, and we went to Las Vegas. We were living in
Oh,
Texas at the time,
oh
and so we
Lord.
had one of those weekends, and it was really kind of strange, that.
Yeah.
But you're right, they brought up things that nobody was doing, and the
Hmm.
thing about it is the stories and the satire that's in it today is just as funny as it was back then.
Oh my God, I know. I know. It really was when you like think about I mean, especially with Betty White. Betty White, she kind of played the dumb blonde, and she was talking about the one episode with Eskimos and back in her hometown, and they're all saying like, "What's the point? What's the point?" And she comes off with this off the wall answer. Well, it was the Eskimos. They used to give blubber to the kids for Halloween, and it was just so funny because she was so straight faced and she talked about specific things that you know uh just off the wall, but it was just so funny, and it like transcended us into this where we are today. But you know what, women don't talk like that anymore, and that's why I just thought, you know what, coming back off the new year and the holidays and everything, and everybody wants to get back into the groove. It's just like I would love to see a more funny, humorous, you know, podcast, although sincere and sensitive and very important at times, but to get back to where we used to be. I would love that. How about you?
Well, same thing. Betty White was saying in the show that I watched this morning. She goes, "We live in Miami, so it's either hot flashes or I just have to turn off the heat." And but they were bringing up menopause, and they were
Right.
bringing up all kinds of social issues. Gay marriages. They were bringing same sex
Yep.
partners, AIDS. So they were
Hmm.
covering very, very strong subjects of the time, and immigration. Even there was a spot in there about one
Wow.
of her students, Dorothy's students, and immigration, and it's amazing that we're going through the same thing and it's 40 years later. It's amazing.
Is that
Blows my
wild?
mind.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
because
That's
we're
so.
recycling. I guess history recycles itself
Well, yeah,
anyway.
they always say
But
history repeats itself.
yeah, but I really think that, if just for an attitude adjustment. We want to keep our brains in the right place. So if you can
Yeah.
laugh about something or talk about something that can bring you some laughter or lightheartedness, I think, hey, put an episode of the Golden Girls on and just laugh and have a good time.
I know. I know. When what was I'm having a brain blank right
Brain
here.
moment.
The one who likes sex all the time. Uh,
Blanche.
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 Um, she's another one. They're all my favorite, but I love the fact that, Blanche talks about sex openly, and it's like the episode I was watching last night. She wanted to be a fashion designer representative, and they were talking about Dorothy comes out with a chain. She says, does my outfit look better with this long chain or these pearls? And Betty White and Blanche were going back and forth at it. Well, it was just so hilarious because she says, well, put the pearls on. What are you going to do? Wear a sign to say, point to this nether region area? It was just so hilarious. Something so simple that, you know what? And you talked about menopause. It was like taboo. You weren't allowed to talk about it. And it's like, this really needs to be talked about. And you know what? Did
Yeah.
we do an update on how many billions of women are in menopause in 2026?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the fact that we're still not really, I mean, we're talking about it more this past year, I think, than I've seen out in the open in previous years,
Mm-hmm.
because Oprah brought attention to it,
Yeah.
many, many, many celebrities brought attention to it this year. So we're
Mm-hmm.
getting a little bit more coverage,
Yeah.
but, the pharmaceutical industry spends 100 times on male erectile dysfunction medication
Right.
than they do on
Mm-hmm.
anything to help women with menopause.
Yep.
And it just blows me away. It really does.
I met a gentleman this morning and I was talking. He says, so what do you do with your time? I says, well, you know what? I have a podcast every Monday and it's for women in menopause. He went, really? He says, so what's it about? I said, well, women can come on, men can join us, their husbands or significant others, because we talk about menopause. He says, so you're saying that this is specifically for women and bringing, excuse me, excuse me, their significant other in and help them understand what women are going through. And he got it. He was a 40-year-old gentleman, very, very interested in the whole thing. Took one of our cards and given it to his girl, as he referred to her as, and then we began talking about the balance oil and
Okay.
issues, the terrible 10 oils, and then how the symptoms that you have with menopause, how balance oil can help with that. And it's a supplement. It's omega-3 supplement with polyphenols. And I mean, if anything, you have amazing sleep. It helps with all issues that you go through. I don't know. When did you stop having hot flashes?
Power surges, kind of on and off,
Yeah.
but when I started with some other products and CBDs and the balance oil, I don't have hot flashes anymore. So those are
Yeah.
gone now. But, if you think about it, the thing about it is, with the thing that impressed me about the balance oil, and I can't say it enough, because it was my aha moment
Yeah.
when I was listening to the podcast
Yeah.
about balance oil, and I heard about cell membrane fluidity and
Yeah.
rigidity. That made
Mhm.
sense to me, because I had been following healthy choices and doing
Mhm.
making healthy choices and got off of synthetic medications and all that for a while, and yet I still wasn't getting 100% of the results. I mean, I feel great. I don't have a lot of aches and pains. I'm
Mhm.
not bedridden as many of my friends are, and
Oh,
and
that's
different
so
things. But
sad.
I I just think that when I heard that, it made sense to me. And then, so they have a
Yeah.
test. And so you
Yeah.
test up front before you get started on the balance oil. And then on your 5th month, when you get your 5th bottle in the mail, they send you another test to see what kind of results. And that was so impressive to me,
Yeah.
that they believe in their product enough that they know that it works, because this company's in Norway, so they don't have all the crazy food additives and things that we have in the United States. The terrible 10 oils that mess up all of our foods and our bodies and our omegas, and so that's what impressed me so much. And I was excited to see my numbers go down. I mean, I started, out of all of us in our little group, I started with the best number, which was 11-1. And we had some that were way, 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 way out there. You were 12, you were one above me.
You were 12-1. I was
You have been
13 to
doing
1.
amazing.
Yeah, I was
12-1, or you were 13 to
Yeah.
1. And my second test was 5-1. And I know yours came back like 3.5-1.
Yep.
So I mean, you even had more amazing results.
Yep.
But it makes so much sense.
I know.
It was the cell membrane fluidity. And now that we know about it, we're hearing about it, not out in the open like it should be, because everybody should know about it.
Right.
But we're hearing about it because we know it exists. We pay attention more. So when something comes across our path, we know what it is, at least. So, but that was my hot button. That was my light bulb moment, really and truly. So,
and you know what, Hale, you get on this, you learn more about it each and every day. And I mean, 2026 is going to explode for us with Zinzino and the balance oil. And you understand that, people become so mindful now of what they're actually putting in their body, at least who I know, who I have gotten on the balance oil. So again, this gentleman I was speaking to this morning, I'll tell you what, he's like, wow, you really piqued my interest. I said, just imagine, okay, you go to the doctors. He gives you a prescription. You take it, no questions asked. It has a million horrible side effects.
Yeah.
And yet they'll take this pill because that doctor has a PhD or an MD after him. And, you say, hey, here, try the balance oil. I'll research it, which cracks me up because I have taken this product to endocrinologists, cancer doctors, and right away, I want this. Like, just give it to me. I want to start taking it. So
they understand. They understand the missing piece once you bring it up,
right?
But they don't bring it up ever to their patients.
I know.
So there's none of that happening in any way or form at all going on. So you have to make sure that the right people, that you get to follow up with the people who understand. And I used to be on 18 medications and 4 insulins and I got out of that. But the reason why I ended up on so many synthetic drugs was because every time they prescribed a new pill, it had side effects that made me take another pill and then another pill and then another pill. And it was crazy. It was absolutely nuts.
So we do have a comment that came in, and this is from Sandy. And she said, went to the eye doctor today and my sight is even better. Need a new prescription because my existing glasses are too strong now.
I love it.
Sandy has had amazing results with, everything that she's doing. I mean, she's been working with Robert Ferguson, also another colleague of ours, for the past, I think she said about 15 years or so. And I started researching and became a health and wellness coach. I really love our products in Zeno and everything, all the amazing things about this balance oil. It's really, really an amazing product. And there's in this bottle right here that's showing up on the screen, it's 60% omega-3 and 40% polyphenols. Now the omega-3, our companies in Zeno, again, as you said, based out of Norway. It is a publicly traded company. And the Zinzino omega-3 oil has polyphenols. We're the only company in the world that has this patent on polyphenols. And polyphenols are derived from pre-ripe olives. And it's called the Piqua olive in Spain. So they derive polyphenols from there. And you know what? The life of a red blood cell is 120 days. And this bundle right here that you see on our screen It is $115. You get the blood test, because you wanna test, don't guess, and you get the bottle of oil. The 4 months after, you just purchase your oil, which is $45, and your shipping plus tax, which comes to roughly about $54 and change. After the 4th month and on your 5th month, as you did mention, you do get another balance test, a blood test for free. You get that test for free. So
I
you see
love
where
that.
you were and where you are today. And you know what? This is a no-brainer. This is lifetime. For this oil to help with people come off of diabetic medicine, cholesterol medicine. I know it has helped you amazingly. Like you said, you had these 18 prescriptions and you were taking insulin. And you know what? It really helps because it makes people mindful of what they actually put in their mouth now.
That's true.
I gave up coffee. Having coffee come through one of those little pods, and the coffee that's put into these little plastic pods, and all the things that have come through that plastic pod. I mean, look, we're not going to get away from all this stuff. This horrible stuff, the terrible 10 seed oils and whatnot.
The microplastics and
Yeah, but you
everything.
know what? You can make better choices in going forward.
Yes.
And, just watch what you're eating. Put down the potato chips and the pretzels and, all that junk food. I mean, sugar is a killer.
Well, and sugar causes inflammation.
Yeah,
So if you're looking at something that has a ton of sugar in it,
yep.
and it's like we had a birthday cake here yesterday. Well, I didn't
Right.
have a piece of birthday cake because to me
Yeah,
that meant I would wake up in pain this morning because of the sugar.
yeah,
That
yeah,
makes no sense to me to make choices that are going to make me feel worse. I
right.
just don't understand it.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste as good as I'd rather feel,
And you know what?
you
That
know?
cake will taste the same over and over and over again. I remember back in the day, I heard this representative from Weight Watchers. She was talking about cake. She says, you know what? You'll want that cake, and you eat that cake, and you stuff your face with that cake, but it's still going to taste the same every time. And that really made sense to me. Like, oh, you know what? She's right. What am I getting out of it? I'm not getting enjoyment out of it. Actually was getting enjoyment out of a piece of fish, a sliced potato, and some onions tonight. I know it sounds probably disgusting, but cottage cheese and berries. I mean, that sounds so much more interesting to me than eating
Yeah.
ice cream and a cake and a donut. And we had our cookie weekend here over the holidays. Let me tell you something. I threw out. It's like it's a new year, new day. It's Monday. I'm getting rid of all these cookies. I don't need these cookies here. And if they were
Right.
there, I'm going to eat them, and I'm not going to eat them. So I was like, everybody else, you want them? If not, then they're going in the trash. And they wound up going in the trash. So it was,
Well, if we're all trying to get better in 2026 and move forward into better health, uh
Gene said, he says, I don't care what you say, I'm still having cake.
I saw that. I saw
I
that. That's too
understand,
funny. That's too
absolutely.
funny. Well, and I understand that. And, rather than pine over it, I used to have a friend that would tell me, if you really feel like you have to have something,
Yeah,
have
have
it,
it.
get it over
Yep,
with. And so
yep,
that you're not thinking about it for weeks at a
yep.
time, which that makes sense too. I mean,
Yeah,
if you are going to
absolutely.
eat it and you're going to think about it day and night, then eat it and get it over with.
I know, absolutely. And I agree. And that's, of course, that's again what they tell you in Weight Watchers, one of their, not that we're promoting Weight Watchers, but that's what that counselor said. She's, if you want it, have it, eat it. Don't
Yeah,
deprive yourself.
I lectured for Weight Watchers for 5 years,
Right,
and,
right.
it was amazing to me, the fact that you could eat everything if you figured out
Hmm.
how to eat it in the right, a number of points or whatever the choices were, and I was always impressed with that, but one of the things I noticed on the Golden Girls last night when I was watching, or this morning when I was watching it, was the fact they always sat around the kitchen table with the cheesecake.
Yeah.
Always. There was always a cheesecake on the kitchen table.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
Well,
I'm
you
not
know
sure what that was all about specifically,
uh
but there was always a cheesecake on the kitchen table. So that's interesting. I'm gonna try to figure that out a little bit more on that, because I think the Golden Girls have a great idea. You know, they came together
yeah.
under in the story under necessity, but they
Hmm.
stayed together because of friendship.
Yep.
And, you know, whatever the reason is, number one, I don't think, you know, good friends are too hard to come by.
Oh, you
People
got
that you
that
can
right.
depend, you know, people that you can depend on, your ride or dies in
Hmm.
your life.
Hmm.
And, you know, you have a few in your family if you're lucky, but when it comes to friends, you know, they're they're too valuable. They're too
Yeah.
valuable. And you know who your best friends are and who's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be
Oh
there
yeah.
for you.
I know. And you know what? Speaking along that lines, I know a lot of people know me and see me around and everything. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to a best friend, it's just like you know who you can count on, and you know who is true blue and loyal to you. And you know what? When I grew up, I mean, being the baby of 9 children, all our friends were our brothers and sisters, and you knew they were
Yes.
loyal and they were there for you and they had your back. And I cherish my good friends. I cherish the loyalty, and I cherish them having my back. And that's important. It really is. And I'm really excited to delve deeper into with the Golden Girls and their humor and their the comedy on the show, and just everything that they really talked about. I'm gonna probably wind up watching a little more of them tonight.
Well,
um
there's seasons to binge. So, you know,
ah,
if you want to laugh and you need some lightheartedness with everything that's going on in the world today, put a few
yeah.
episodes on and distract your brain from all the negative stuff that's out there. I don't watch the news because I can't put that in my brain. But,
Oh.
you know, put something happy in there so that you're on the direction of something that's going to work towards you and for you instead of against you all the time.
I'll tell you a quick funny story too. My husband binge watched Poldark with me, based in 1760. I mean, it was a love story. The guy goes off the war, he leaves a young girl behind, comes back, they thought he was dead, and he comes back here, she's engaged to his cousin, and so on. My point there is my husband sat and watched that whole entire 5 seasons with me. I'm like, are you really watching this with me? I said, do you want to watch Outlander next? but but I have to
He just wanted to spend the time with you, obviously.
okay, so we have a question, and hold on a minute. Let's see. Okay, the question is,
I
okay,
think it's a comment.
all right. Okay, so Gene's still going to have his birthday cake. Well, we know you will, Gene, and we don't deprive anybody of anything. So why was there always cheesecake? It became the show's emotional safe space. You know what? When my family gets together, we all sit in the kitchen. We've always done that from the time I was a young child. Cheesecake scenes usually happened when someone was upset, a secret had to come out, there was a moral or emotional conflict. Instead of a living room heart to heart, the writers used the kitchen plus cheesecake as a place where defenses dropped. Food made
That's
conversations
brilliant.
intimate and honest. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
true because
brilliant.
we have love, we have conversation, we have friends, and it's all around food. It's around, bottle of wine and some food, some cake. When we had guests come over, we broke out the cake. I think we had Entenmann's was bigger than, we had the cake. We wanted to have some cake and coffee, and that's where everybody just sat around and BS'd and just had a good old time. So I got to add another comment. My husband. So I laugh about. I'm going to wind up laughing before I tell the story. So let me try to control it. Long story short, my son gave us a turkey. So I made the turkey on Christmas Day. And we're waiting for my son and his wife and daughter to get there. And all of a sudden, he's like, well, let's just eat. The turkey looked beautiful. If you could, do you remember the movie Christmas Vacation?
Yes.
So anyway, on this turkey, The legs were bloody. I cooked it the whole time. I never messed up a turkey before. So the legs were bloody, but the breast was done. I called my son up. I mean, my husband goes to eat the leg. I'm like, I don't think so. You're not eating that. I cut the turkey breast. Well, here it was like dry as a bone.
Oh
And
my goodness.
so we both tasted it and we're like, oh, that's horrible. I've never messed up a turkey. And I'm thinking how you made your last turkey. So I called my son up and I said, can you tell me how long or where you got this turkey from? He said, Mom, it's been in my refrigerator for almost 2 years. I'm like, what? My husband says, well, he says, not one of your better meals, Ron. But when you had to be there to actually see it, but I was roaring. I mean,
Oh,
I was
that's
cracking up.
hilarious.
I've never messed up a turkey, but it was kind of like a Christmas vacation turkey. It was
Oh,
horrible.
wow.
And we put
That's
it in
crazy.
the trash. But so any last words before we head out tonight? And we'll be back
I'm
here
just
the same
excited.
place,
I'm
same
gonna
time.
start binging more Golden Girls. I
Yeah.
am. I really am. You know, I feel like it kind of fits right in with our theme.
Yeah.
And you know, bringing up a lot of the subjects that we're going to be talking about this year, and I can't wait for some of our up and coming guests and some of the new things we're going to be doing this year. So please share, you know, and invite your friends to join us. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see everybody on one of our calls and give away lots of goodies in the future. So we're looking forward to that for sure.
I know we're heading towards 900, and I know we're going to hit it soon because people have been, you know, swarming to us and they're really excited about this. And, you know, I'm super excited about it as well. So we will be here the same place, same time next week. As Renee says, like, follow, and share. You know, it's a safe place. Our Facebook page, PowHER Hour, is specifically for women. However, we love to have their husbands, significant others join us on our Monday night podcasts. Again, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, if you need to get a hold of us or you want some more information about the Zinzino oil or the blood test, you know what? It's a fabulous product, and you're rolling into the new year. And we want everybody to be healthy and wealthy and wise, because
Wise.
yes, you're thinking about your life, your health, and you know that's 100% real. So again, have a wonderful evening. Renee, you have a wonderful evening. I know you're having amazing weather out in Las Vegas. It's a little chilly here in Philadelphia.
It's a little chilly. It's only 50 something right now, but it's still sunny at least.
I know we were down to 30. So good night, everybody. Have an amazing weekend, amazing week. And we will talk to everybody coming up next week, same place, same time. And we will put our new topic out there for the next week. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.